are.
Call to order. Does anybody need, I think I brought 2 of these. Does anybody need one? Or train? There you go. Sorry. Okay. Public comments. Public comments?
I think they'll be down here. I think they'll be down here, won't they?
So they're not public.
I think they come in at number 8.
Number 8, how do you know this?
Well, because public comments, they have to come in and sign. They have to sign
Oh,
up to say that
okay.
they want to speak.
Sorry. Okay, wonderful. Well, no public comments, right?
Right.
Okay. Consider the approval of the minutes for November 15th, Parks Board meeting. And I looked it over. It looked like it was very thorough and correct. Did anybody else look it over and see anything that we should correct?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Okay. It's seconded. All in favor of voting in the minutes?
Aye.
Aye? Okay. Wonderful. Consider election of the new chairperson by the board. I say Joe Chappell should be the chairperson. Does anybody have any other?
No, we must all be in a consensus, okay?
Yes.
Good. Good.
Oh,
Okay.
yay.
Okay. Well, he's enthusiastic, and I need a
Yes,
break.
Yes, I think so.
Are you
Not
going to
from
stay
the-
on, Sherry?
Yes, I'm going to stay on. I just don't have to do this stuff. You know, I can nod like you guys do.
Right, that's nice. That's nice. Okay.
Okay, wonderful. Well,
You need a second, don't you?
yes, need a second.
Okay, I did. Okay. 'cause I
Okay,
didn't say it
second.
loud enough. Second.
How many in favor of Joe being the chairperson?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the ayes have it. Wonderful. We're just skimming right through this. Okay, discussion and appointment for a vice secretary for taking minutes in the absence of a secretary. Yeah, because that's been a problem. Anybody wants to nominate themselves or anything?
I'm going to be, I'm afraid, gone too much. I don't want to take on something and then not be able to be here.
Okay, well, I could do it. Lori, do you want to do it? Okay. Okay, then I'll just move over to the vice secretary for taking minutes. Okay, all in favor of me?
Aye.
Aye. Oh, I'll second.
Second, yeah.
Okay, and I think I may have to, and let's vote? Uh-huh.
Okay. I think I have to nominate you. I don't know that you
Oh,
can.
okay,
Can you
good.
nominate yourself?
Go for it.
I nominate Sherry to be the vice secretary.
Woo-hoo, woohoo.
I
Okay,
second that.
second, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, nobody's opposed.
No,
Okay, so we'll get that. You're doing a good job. If this is any indication, this right here, this is good.
Good. Thank you.
Let's see, got that, number 5. Okay, 6 is discussion and consideration of the removing of Bradford pear trees in the planters and right-of-way area of Harrison Street parking lot and replacing them with crepe myrtle whose roots are less invasive and of a color conducive to the planned theme throughout the city. Who's wanting them, these trees torn out?
Part of that was my decision and talking with Maxine.
Okay.
2 of the trees down there is where been breaking out through the years as half a tree.
So it's, Bradford pear go up, and then as they get older, they just start collapsing, and one of them is,
Yeah, I mean,
half of it is
2 of them,
gone.
over half the tree
Okay.
is broke off. One of the planters, it have separated,
Okay,
so
Do you know how old those Bradford pear are? Do you remember? Because they're not long-lived trees.
12, 14 years old?
I'm
I
gonna
don't-
say that's pretty close.
Because I don't think they were, we've been here 17, and I don't remember
pretty
that they
close.
were
Okay.
here when we first came.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, for
Well-
for what it's worth, from a master gardener,
Uh-huh.
Bradford pears are bad about splitting.
Yeah.
When there's ice or wind, you can
Uh-huh.
pretty well depend on there being damage done to the trees. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but the blossoms have a stench, not a fragrance, but a stench.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people who are allergic to them.
Yeah.
And the crepe myrtles take very little care, very little, once you get them going.
Yeah, that's
The
true.
Natchez is a beautiful type of crepe myrtle, and it has a white bloom on it. They bloom for quite some time in the summer.
As long as the pink ones, the traditional, do you think
Yes.
they're in par with that?
I think that they're better. They're
Really?
later,
Okay.
a later hybrid. They also have a beautiful trunk on them.
Okay.
We need to avoid, if we plant crepe myrtles, we need to avoid doing what they call crepe murder. We need to not trim the tops every year. That's not good.
What about the dead growth? I have some in my yard, and everybody who suffered from 2 years ago,
Yeah.
the top
Freezing.
You can just trim the dead wood out.
dead wood out. Okay, but not, and you know how to do that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But anyway, there are several things that are wonderful about them. The blooms, the bark is very beautiful on it. And then in the fall, the leaves, before they fall, have a nice color to them also.
Okay.
So there's seasonal, all season interest.
Okay. Well, gosh, that convinced me right there.
But my question is, where does the money come from to do this?
That would come from the park department's budget, so.
That's what I
something we'd be
wonder.
taking-
Do we have that? How much money do we have, and how much money will it be?
We got trees, probably a month ago, we paid $103 a tree.
But taking it out, how would you take the Bradford pear out?
Mostly just cutting it down and getting a stump grinder and get the rest out, because we got water lines in there.
So would that be done by you guys, or will we have to pay someone to do
It'll be
it?
done by the parks department. We'll take care of that.
Oh, okay,
They'll
okay.
take care of
So
that.
there would
And you get-
be no cost on that?
Yeah, so you get paid anyway.
Right.
No bonus? Okay.
Okay. Well, does that kind of answer your question?
It does. I was just curious as to
Yeah,
how
yeah.
much.
I'm
But it
glad you thought of
sounds,
that.
it sounds reasonable if all we have, how many trees would we put in?
It's 4 there.
Okay.
What
So
size?
replace the 4.
The trees that we got was probably about 6 to 7 feet tall.
And would we get, and that's how tall you could get a crepe myrtle? Is that what
You
you're
can
saying?
get them taller and bigger, but you're gonna pay more money.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. They grow pretty good, pretty fast. Mine grows really fast. Okay. Okay, well, I guess we could vote on it. It says discussion and consideration, so that means we can vote on it. Somebody else do this. I'm not going to say anything about, killing of a live thing. And somebody else start it, and I'll jump right in there.
Well, you just need a motion.
Yes.
I would like to make a motion that we have the Bradford pear trees removed and in their place, plant crepe myrtles.
Okay. Anybody second it?
Okay, and that's 4 trees at 100 and something a tree? Did I understand that right?
Yes, ma'am.
So it'd be around $500.
That's correct.
Do we have $500? Who's the treasurer?
We have.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. I will second it.
Okay, all in favor? Say
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the ayes have it. Wonderful, okay. Number 7, discussion and consideration of planting knockout roses in the flower beds in the areas around Harrison Street parking lot. I was in a greenhouse, and I have never heard of those, but I have a vivid image in my head of knockout roses now.
I would,
What does that?
I would
So you know.
recommend, I would recommend that we do this because knockout roses bloom all summer long.
Oh,
Uh-huh. Why are
They take very little care.
Why are they knockout?
Well, because they're so beautiful, they just knock your eyes out.
Oh,
They come in different
Wow.
colors, so, you know, you could choose colors.
Where
But
would
the maintenance is very low on them. You don't, disease resistant.
uh-huh.
It's-
Where is this? Where would it go?
Okay, the flower beds, you know, one's on Second Street, right next to the funeral home, that goes on the side of the parking lot. It's another one on the other side on First Street,
Okay,
okay? They was planted with roses when they first planted that there and built that there. It was full of roses.
I remember that. They were beautiful. Why were they taken out?
Died,
Oh, okay.
but they was full of pink roses
Oh,
all
it was
through there.
beautiful, and
Yeah.
that's where we're thinking of putting it back.
That's correct.
Oh, I've been mourning the fact that they died a long time ago. I love that. That's where my snow cones stand, you know, close to where the snow
Yeah.
cones stand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. Well, somebody,
well, again, I guess we need to know how much are they? How
Yeah,
many do
how
we
many?
need? How much money are we talking? Blue, do you have any idea?
No, I haven't measured to see how many we was gonna need, so I hadn't done that.
Okay. So maybe could we table it and find out what it's gonna cost, and then because when would you have to do it? Not for a couple of months yet to plant
I
them?
mean, we can table and I can let you know next meeting what we need.
that would be March, if we
March.
do it every other month.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be enough
Is that early
time?
enough to, I mean,
I
or
can do that.
not too late to plant them?
Right, I can do that. So I need to get
Okay,
how many and a price.
okay. I like that. I'm glad you've got this numbers floating in your head. This is wonderful. Okay, so this is tabled. Okay. Number 8. Are we ready for number 8?
Yeah.
Okay. Discussion, consideration of the mural drawing for the community wall garden to be presented by, to the board by Kim Quigley. Wonderful. And I have pictures that Joe Chappell has sent of a mural that he thinks is wonderful and some
Somebody
ideas.
saw in California or Austin or something?
I
Austin,
think
maybe.
Stillwater.
Oh, he had seen several, he said.
Oh, where he saw it, yes, yes. I think it was somewhere in Texas.
Hi, guys. Have you been down to the garden?
Yes.
Yes.
To the community garden?
Uh-huh.
Great. We're excited about the garden, and we have really wanted this to be a truly community garden where people in Guthrie feel like they can come, they can bring their families, a place to learn and a place to rest and a place to learn new things. And of course, aesthetically, it's a pretty place. That was kind of a yucky area over there. And so this is Mark, by the way. He's the garden guru down there, and he lives there pretty much. And so anyways, he's the hands-on guy. But when this first started, we had talked about wanting to have some kind of a sign somewhere that says, this is the Guthrie Community Garden. And we had a contest with the schools to name the garden. And we had all kinds of interesting names, but actually the name that was voted on was the Guthrie Community Garden. And so with that in mind, now that the classes that got the name got to paint bricks, and those bricks are actually placed in the garden. So there's children's handprints and some of those type things on some of the bricks, and that's where those came from, if you notice that. So now we had talked about getting some kind of a sign in the garden with our name. And our committee had met, and we had kind of talked about how we should do this. And we did receive a $5,000 grant from the Tobacco Fund, and we set aside some of that money for materials for a sign. And along that water treatment plant is a big, huge cement wall. And so I don't know how many 100 feet it is. Okay, it's 240 feet. And it's in basically rectangular sections. And what we did was we wanted to involve the community even more, and we went to the high school, to the art teacher, and she was really excited. And she had her students, her accelerated students, create a project. And it is truly a rough draft. They've cut it and pasted and everything. What we're proposing is only going to be on one and about a third of the sections of the community garden. It'll be almost, it's not quite the closest one to the building, but it's right there where the learning garden is and the compost is. So it's closer to the building and the main body kind of where our hub is. Would you agree with that? Anyways, and so that's what we have here. This is truly a rough draft. It's a culmination of several students' artwork and ideas come together. And again, you guys had mentioned Joe and a historical, there's hundreds more feet to do all kinds of things. We were just trying to come up with a creative way to let everybody know that this is the Guthrie Community Garden. And so I'm going to let you guys look at this. The paper represents a rectangle plus an additional piece. The G on the Guthrie is like the sports symbol that you see at the high school. There'll be vines on the word garden. There'll be a rainbow in the background. And there's all kinds of critters down there. And of course, we raise fruits and vegetables. If you notice in the tree, there is a blue jay for Guthrie Blue Jays. And so these are all the accelerated art students' ideas. This will be, we've consulted with an artist of what kind of materials to use and those type things, and that money has been budgeted for those painting supplies to do that.
Okay. Okay, let's, one of the things that Joe Chappell talked to me about was rather than having just one idea, if we could almost have a contest. He was just brainstorming with me to try and get several different ideas. And I can pass the pictures around that, did he send you all any pictures? One of the things that I'm thinking about that he seemed to point out was the community garden is one part, and you're right, it's just going to be one small section of 4, right?
There's more than 4, actually.
There's about 12 sections.
12 concrete sections.
And you're in one
and about a third.
1 1/3. When you're looking at the whole thing, this is going to be one of the most prominent things you can ever see in that park. And I can see how, in a sense, he wants, Joe wants, and I was kind of thinking about it myself, you want it to be historic also.
Right.
And, but on the other hand, it's not very big. It's, like she said, 1 1/3 panels.
And actually, from the garden, the panels that we're talking about using are probably the least exposed to the park and to everything else. It's closer up to the building. More than likely, if you were going down to Vision, you would not see where we would have the Guthrie community sign because it's tighter, closer to the building right there.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Let me pass this around. One of the things you'll see, and then I want you to see it too. One of the things you'll see about these that he sent us, and just go through it and see.
I've seen them.
Oh, you've seen them? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And just scan right through. It's a muted color. It's more, historic color. That's one of the,
Instead of really bright.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
But then the other side of this is, you won't even see it from division. See, there's some things to consider here, and this is the one that is absolutely closest to the community.
I don't know if it's
garden.
exactly the next closest, but it's the second one probably. I can't remember.
Production garden
It's right in the middle of the production garden, which is close to the building.
Okay.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
great.
This really, I don't see anything.
And if you want to come up and look at the pictures too,
Those really take a really good, do something like that.
there.
One of the ideas, and we've talked about, at one point, having artists and such, but we're trying to get families down there, and so we're hoping by having the kids will actually do the painting and such, and be supervised. We've been consulting with artists, to get the community to come down and to participate. Those are pretty.
But it is muted, and that's not going to attract kids as much. I'm seeing too many levels
I am
here.
too. I am too.
It's because this idea is something that would really attract people. I think it's wonderful, and the colors don't have to be neon and glow in the dark stuff.
Yeah, we don't want them to be neon either. But we do want it to be aesthetically pretty,
That's right.
I think before I could vote on this, I would want to see it in color, and I would want to see
Okay.
it, I would want to see something that would be more like what is actually going to go up on the wall. I would have a hard time just approving this in
Okay.
such a rough draft.
Okay.
But I do love the idea of having the students involved and having teachers involved and having, I love that community.
Do you guys mind talking about time frame? Because we're trying to do this before school's out. So we've got May.
Yeah.
And you guys meet
March?
every other month.
Is there any
So-
way we could,
We
if
could
these are top students that are really into art, what did you think about my idea of like a contest?
Well,
The winner, would have
Well,
this.
basically, here's what happened. She had each student do their own project, okay, and they presented it to our garden committee.
Okay.
They all had good things about them, but individually, they didn't really have all the things that we wanted in it.
I see.
So this is actually a culmination of some really cool stuff from each of those students, which is kind of neat because they'll all have a piece of it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
And in a sense, working as a team, you get a lot better results than having people compete against other people. So,
So that's not just one artist, that's several artists, and that's why it's cut and pasted. We didn't know how formal it needed to be. I'm sure they'll be tickled to put it in color and make it nice and tidier. We were just trying to get something so we could get to you guys, because time is of essence. I think it is potentially possible if it is approved in the March meeting, that gives us, a good month or two to work on it.
would that be enough time if we meet every other month?
So if it was approved in March, we could just start then, right? Yeah, I think it would be.
Then it would be, if we've approved it then, you show us a plan, we say yes. If that happens, then it'll be springtime, it can be started.
Yeah, and that was our hope, was to start sometime in March because of the weather. And if you guys would like, if it will help you, I'm a visual person. I have to see it. We can do something to mark that square, that rectangle out there, and show you which one we're talking about.
Oh, wonderful.
Question.
It's the second
Once-
one.
Once we approve this, does it not have to go to the city council?
See, and that's the next question.
I can find that out tomorrow.
Okay.
We can have an answer for you tomorrow.
I think we send it forward as a recommendation, I think. But I think the city council
be.
probably would have.
Okay, so when does the city council meet? If,
It's once a month.
Twice a month.
so that, like, in March, would they meet after you in the month? Or,
They would be before and after, probably.
okay, because they're twice a month, that's right. So, see, it's just time is what we were
Right,
worried about.
Right, I can see that.
It, would there, and there's, sorry, Robert Rules of Order is not my best.
No.
If we got a colored deal soon, it couldn't be looked at before March?
It could be.
Oh,
We can
we
have
could have a
special,
yeah.
we can have special
Okay.
meetings. And,
So would you guys consider that if I could get the art students on it, and that way we could get it before the city council?
are you okay with that, if we had a
Yeah,
special
yeah.
meeting to look at?
I'm curious, my granddaughter is a senior. She's a great artist.
Okay.
I almost can see her over here with the fish and the frog,
Are you going to tell me names? I don't know.
Lily Lacina, and I'm curious,
Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
recognize, she's great.
Because a couple of the parents are art teachers or artists themselves of a couple of these kids, and one's a graphic design parent, and so we did
Yeah,
have
well,
some.
my son is, her dad is a graphic
Okay,
designer.
well,
for a company.
yes, I'm sure those are
But I'm
hers.
curious to ask her about it. She's very good. Now, she had her art hanging for a year at the zoo. She won the Dr. Pepper
Awesome.
machine. And her art hung with Guthrie's name on there and hers. So when I saw that, I'm like, I think this over here, this
Yeah.
is Lily.
And that's what we did, and some of it was interesting because, you know, people have different styles. We had tribal tattoo looking stuff.
Yeah.
And then hers was kind of more fantasy is what I
Yes,
would
it
call
is.
it, or
Yeah.
whimsical.
Yeah.
And so it's hard kind of when you're trying to mesh different styles together too to make it look fluid.
Right.
And so, anyways, it's been kind of a fun process.
That's neat. That, I really do like this a lot.
So how would you like for us to communicate with you? We'll get this in color, and who do I need to?
Would they call Maxine?
Yeah.
Okay, she's on my email contact list. Sure,
Okay.
sure.
Okay, that would be the easiest.
I'll get with Lindsay. She had a baby over break. Lindsay Baker's the teacher. So,
Yes, and I just talked to Lily last night, and they said, and the personnel director for Guthrie Schools, and they said she's going to be out. They are now back to a sub.
okay, so see, it'll make it interesting. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We appreciate you listening to us and considering this.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you for
So
everything you
I
do.
can take this with me?
Yes,
Okay.
you sure can. That is wonderful. Tell them thank you for their effort. I think it's wonderful. Okay, so that's tabled for right now until we hear
Table
from
till
Max.
we get together to look at something that they have in color.
Yes.
Yes, you may.
Yes, you may. Mother, may I? Okay, let's see. We're to 9? Uh-huh.
I'll make a motion to table
Second.
this discussion.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, 9. And this brings us around to what they just talked about. Number 9 is discussion, consideration, developing a policy of rules for sign selection and placement in the city of Guthrie parks. See if that, I don't know if number 9 is, if we approve that, then would we be taking a mural to the city council? Or would they be, see, we're asking for them to tell us. It's the same, it's vice versa. I don't know if we have to,
Can we table that one too,
till what?
till we decide on this other?
Well, I think this
they
is,
need it. They
this
need
is
it.
something that
They
needs
need.
to be,
Yeah.
they're putting up signs here and there. And Joe, not that I talk constantly with him, but the fact is he went to Central Park in New York City, and they had as many signs there in their entire park as we have in one of ours. They just don't have very many signs, and I'm wondering if that's not a good idea, that's a good idea.
Not to have as many signs?
Right, right, or at least come to us before something is put up.
So are we saying here then that, if we develop a policy, our rules for sign selection, then we'd have to come up with, well, it has to be this size and so, we have specifics, where if we just say that they have to come, anyone wanting to put a sign as one of the city parks would have to come through the Parks Board
To get it approved.
to get it approved.
I think, in a general sense, I think that's a good idea. What do you think? I mean, to at least give us an opportunity to look
To
at
look at it.
something. So we don't have to drive by one day and go, what is that?
Yeah, how did that get there?
Yeah, we want input too. So what do you guys think?
What would we say, that we make a motion that anyone wanting to put a sign anywhere would have to bring what they have, show us what they're going to do, what size it is, everything, color, and get it approved by the Parks Board?
Well, he has here, and he wrote this, well, we gave the idea to Maxine. Maxine wrote it out legibly. It says placement in the city of Guthrie parks. I mean, that doesn't mean every sign everywhere in the city limits.
Right, so it would just be that when they're going to
Guthrie
put
Parks.
something in this, and how many parks do we have?
5.
5. That's not a whole bunch to have to
Yeah.
be in
What do
control
you-
of.
What do you think? This affects, you've seen what needs to be and doesn't need to be.
I
You
would
have
think that
some-
you need signs that are not going to be difficult to maintain the park in order to,
Or mow around it.
Are there that many people asking to put signs up in the parks?
No,
I mean, I haven't
they
noticed
don't, they
any.
don't really ask, they just
Right.
do it.
Maybe.
Right.
So, well, once we say that they have to be approved, then they can't, we can take them down. If somebody goes
Well,
and sticks a sign.
we've been guilty as a city parks. We've been guilty of putting signs up too that I don't know really needs to be. So, we've been guilty too of putting probably way too many signs up.
That's what I feel
Forget-
like the issue is the inconsistency of the signs that are in the park, that are put there by the city. So I feel like, I mean, and this is just my interpretation of what number 10 says, it seems like the city would need to go through the Parks Board to get the approval of the signs that are there and what is going to be there in the future. Is that
I don't have a problem with it.
okay? I think that just getting some consistency of the signs that are currently there and anything that's coming in the future is a good thing for us to have a policy for, if it's not being, if there's not already a policy in place through the city, through the city of Guthrie,
Yeah.
I like that. I think do you think you can word it so that you can, we can vote on it?
To make yeah. I would like to make a motion that we work with the city of Guthrie to develop a policy and rules for sign selection and placement in the city parks.
Ooh, that was good. That was real good.
Thank you.
There's
Second.
frowning. You second? What do you think?
I'm still trying to think, are we talking like speed? I mean, we're not considered when it said, slow children at play.
No.
We're talking what kind, I'm just curious, what kind of signs are they
well-
wanting to put up?
There are
Or
some flags.
murals, or things that you paint, that,
Well, and there are also, sometimes maybe plants will be donated and they'll want to put a sign
okay.
with that plant and so,
yeah.
And at Highland on the trails, those signs that are there are very nice, but if we had a policy in place, we would be able to make sure that there's
They all
consistency
stay
with
nice.
those signs and that they're there for, that everybody knows they're there and that they're approved and that way there is a consistent look within our parks. I feel like that's one of the
and make
things
sure that the signs that are placed there don't look like tombstones.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, well, we've seconded it. Do you all feel like we could vote on it?
I think
Have we
so. I would-
talked about it?
yeah.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, none opposed. Okay, number 10 is announcements from the staff.
Okay. And what I have is, on that sheet that I gave you, is projects that's been funded by the hotel motel tax. And I guess I start with Howland Hall, the parking area. That was approved through the city council budget process that will be included in the bid package for the city street CIP as a separate item in hopes that we would get a better price.
So it's still not done, correct?
No, it's been approved, so it will be done,
Okay.
okay?
When do you think that will be?
It's whenever they do their street CIP and they start doing them projects, then it'll be done then.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of time.
Right.
Scheduling?
What is a CIP?
That's our capital improvements.
I always get thrown off with initials, so,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, then Highland Park on the entrance, on the pillars. We is in the process of getting bids to get started on that, and then that'd be recommended to the city council for approval, February the 5th, 2013.
Okay.
Okay, and then skate park on the bank-to-bank event. What we're doing right now is getting the calls, because they changed that the first of the year.
Upped it?
Yeah,
From
You know-
what to what?
well, they went up January the 1st, that's when they went up. So they had a price change, so
Yeah.
I would get on all that, and I'll give you a cost.
Okay. Okay.
And then on that Mineral Wells Pond, they're working with Myers Engineering and gathering information for the council on the feasibility of drilling wells and repairing that outflow pipe that goes into Snake Creek.
Okay.
And then that'll go before council also.
Initial well.
And then on Highland Park on the trails, replacements of light and fixture, we got them, and we should be getting them, everything installed in the near future.
I remember there was some discussion about getting something that is more durable.
Yeah, and we checked on that. They didn't have anything.
Oh, okay,
You know, we did check on that. Maxine had me to check on all that, you know.
okay.
So.
That's
so
too
we did-
bad.
I know, but that's
But
kind of
thank you.
sad,
Yeah, it is.
you know. And then we'd be doing tennis courts repairs, or repairing the practice boards, replacing them, putting up new nets on the tennis courts. We'll be doing that. Also in Highland Park again, on the playground equipment, that crawl tube, we'll be replacing that. That one crawl tube had a hole in there.
How old was that?
I'm gonna tell you, I think we put that up 2001.
2001?
Yeah.
Is that, so it's 12 years old? Is it about how long that plastic lasts, I guess? Or is it defective and,
I mean, we replaced the slide there probably 2 years ago.
Right.
And, but like, you know, a lot of the other playgrounds we have got the plastic in them also. They was all done about the same time, and we haven't had any problems with the others. But also, too, the one at Highlands is getting more direct sunlight.
No trees.
No trees right there, okay?
yeah?
So it's direct sunlight,
Oh, that would do it right there,
you
yeah.
know?
Have you considered planting more trees at Highland?
We did plant a few around there. But, you know, do I need to plant more? Yes. Okay?
I wonder if we should. Do you think that would be a good idea?
Oh, yes.
Could you move the Bradford pears over there?
We've got some trees you can have too.
That's right.
Well, I wonder if that would be something that we should consider sometime, is getting some more trees.
Yeah, I mean, you want to get shade there in the future, man, for the playground, for the kids, for everything. You
Yeah.
need the shade.
When we have the heat like we've had in the last 2 years,
Yeah.
they're gonna need that
When,
shade.
in the spring and in the fall, we usually have the free trees.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And if we could ask to have some of the Chinese pistache designated for our parks,
Yes.
they're beautiful.
Yes. We can do that.
Chinese
Okay.
pistache.
Mhm.
Let's, see, our next one is in March. Maybe we can reconsider that, then. I like this idea. Free trees?
Free trees.
Yay. Okay.
And then also too, I need to replace swing seats and change on all the swing sets, so I will be doing that also.
In all the parks?
Everyone that need them in all our
Okay.
parks.
Okay.
It's going to take a while for those trees to get big enough to give shade. Is there any way that any part of the play area could be covered?
Like a canopy of some
Yeah.
kind?
I mean, that's possible.
Because it's awfully hot.
It's
Yeah.
I've added up $53,800 if we do all this.
53,000. Well, we wanted a cost analysis. By gosh, we got it.
yeah.
So we could do all this and not be
Yes.
totally in the red?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Can we find out?
And I mean, I added all the whole thing, the 5,000, even if we had that
I'll
left.
check on that also.
Thank you.
It's pretty good.
Um,
That would be a
And
lot of
down to number 9,
improvement.
right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
okay, so what we'll be doing on the horseshoe pits, we're gonna upgrade them. That's down there in Middle Wells Park.
I love those horseshoe pits. Do you see people playing out there?
I mean, it's a few
That-
people that still play.
I love horseshoe. I've only played it a few times, but it's a great game.
What and what we plan on doing right now, just taking out the sand and stuff that's there, putting new sand, building the boxes to keep them covered. And then what I would do is go out and see, can I find the horseshoe clay? We've been checking for the horseshoe clay.
Horseshoe clay, what is
Yeah,
that?
it's kind of look like cement. And what you do, you kind of water it once a week and you keep it soft and stop it from hardening and stuff.
Uh-huh.
You know, I mean, when I first started, that's what we had. And, you know, once a week I'd go out there and water and keep it broke up. And, but yeah, you got horseshoe clay.
We should have a time, where we, in March, if it was pretty, we have our meeting out there and we play horseshoes after that.
I think.
Is this material similar to what's left over from screenings, what they call screenings? I know I've used those for paths and gardens, and you just keep it wet, and it packs down.
And it might be about on the same type of what we're talking about.
Works well.
Okay. Okay.
And then on number 10,
Uh-huh.
if there's any funding left, what we would do is start replacing split rail fencing.
Where is the split rail?
And we got split rail
Oh,
everywhere.
That's what I thought.
But-
And ours
and a lot
got
of it need
really
to be
bad out
replaced.
at
And here
the
we go
park
again.
from it.
That's been there for I'm gonna say probably around 12 years.
Oh. Is it holding up is it holding up as well as?
And considering everything, I think it done pretty well. I mean, because a lot of the stuff that we've done, it's around 2000, 2001, when they spend a whole bunch of money on the parks and stuff. So it's just trying to replace and repair and get things looking back
Okay.
the way it should be.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I love this report. This is just great. Okay.
So what's my total cost?
I added all of this is 53,800. Now, we could pull out that 5,000, because that's if we have it
Leave
left.
it in there.
Can we add any more?
That would be great. That really feel like you accomplished a lot,
Yeah.
you know? This was exciting.
Status if approved by Park Board and City Council. I'm looking at number 10 and reading that part right there. Status of approved by Parks Board and City Council and is appropriated through the 2013 budget. Is that talking about what you just did?
That's
That's
it.
it.
Okay. Okay. We don't need to do anything about that, number 10. So number 11 is requests and comments from the members of the board.
I guess maybe I should have made my request at that point for the canopy at the playground.
Did you get
Oh, for a
that?
cover, you mean?
She's writing it down.
Okay. Do we have any hope for our swimming pool?
I remember, we talked about that and how bad that's getting, but who's got that much money?
I need to talk to Maxine about that.
Okay.
Can you get back with us in March and, or whenever?
Yes, I can.
Didn't the city council have a meeting about that? Didn't they have a discussion about?
We did, we've discussed the swimming pool. I know it's getting worse and worse every year.
Is it? To the point where people can't swim in it?
Well, I remember Matt Mueller was very, it's just taking, and it's expensive to keep it going. But we need a Boone Pickens or somebody to come in that we could name it Boone Pickens Pool.
There we go.
Maybe somebody knows somebody
Yeah, somebody knows somebody who wants to donate money.
that would like to have it named after them.
Yeah.
We'll just get after that one. Okay, any other requests or comments from the board? Anything? Well, by gosh, meeting adjourned. What do you think?
I think.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.